Freakier Friday is a remake of Freaky Friday. It's been almost, I think, 25 years or something like that since the original. You saw it, right? The original
You're
one?
bringing me back to my childhood right here. Yes, I've seen this one, and then I think there's even one prior to this.
So basically, in the original Freaky Friday, you have the mom, whose name is Tess, and she's a psychologist, and her daughter's name is Anna. She's 15. They go to a Chinese restaurant. They're always getting into arguments like, you know, a lot of moms do when their daughters are in their teenage years. And there's this lady in the back there who sees them arguing, a Chinese lady. She's like, I got something for them. And so she gives them a wisdom cookie, and they feel something weird. And the next day they're swapped in each other's bodies. So, and they have to kind of like learn how to get along and love each other, and that undoes the spell. So, Freakier Friday, it just blew up on the internet. It is a remake, like I said, most of the cast is getting back together. And, you know, when I watched the trailer for it, I was like, this is really ironically freaky that they put this in the movie, and this is really inappropriate. It's borderline pedophilia, but then like wrapped up, sugar-coated in this comedy, and so therefore nobody notices it. But I think once I point it out to you guys, you'll notice it. But first, I want to look at the original Freaky Friday, because a similar thing was happening in the original Freaky Friday, where again, it's sugar-coated pedophilia. Again, who is a target audience for this movie? A lot of teenagers, that's right. And so they see this kind of stuff, and seeds are being planted. So let's take a look at the first Freaky Friday.
As they get to school, Anna asks Tess to play nice with Jake while they're in this situation, threatening her that if she doesn't, she will break up with Ryan. Whoa! Go Anna!
Oh my.
Can I go?
Why? What do you think?
You gotta give him a chance.
That is the last thing I'm going to give him. Just look at him. You don't even know him.
While Tess walks down the unfamiliar school halls, she gets chatted up by Jake. And even if Tess attempts to keep the conversation going, she doesn't really follow whatever it is that he's saying. On the other hand, Ryan is attempting to kiss Anna in Tess's body, but manages to dodge it when he drops her off at her place.
Can you guys see what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you mean. Like the older adult is going after the, you know, underage teen because they're flip-flopped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then like nobody knows other than the two women that are swapped, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, nobody knows.
Nobody knows,
Okay.
yeah.
But it also, like, I think encourages, or at least plants the seed that this is just what teenagers do, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're just gonna be out there and, you know, be attracted sexually to each other in this way.
I just find it weird that, and I understand, like what Felipe is saying, like the other people don't know. So it's not outright like the adults are knowing what they're doing. I can see that. But however, it is being set up as like, hey, the adult is trying to kiss the teenager, and the teenager's like, oh, this is weird because she's a teenager. And you'll see in a second how it gets weirder when the mom's body, daughter's inside the body, right? Daughter's mind, mom's body is now trying to go with her daughter's boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And the boyfriend is actually now attracted to the mom, thinking it's the mom. So things get a little bit weird.
It is a bit confusing. Yeah, but if there were no body swapping in the real world, that gets you in trouble if you're an adult going after students.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've seen people who have made the news for that.
That's true.
It is true, yeah. I just personally think, like, if I were a teenager, especially not growing up Christian, I would not think anything of it. But I think seeds are being planted in your mind.
Yeah.
Little seeds toward, you know, maybe this is something that that could be considered. So now here is the mom. She is, again, this is
There's
Anna.
the daughter
Anna inside the mom's body. And Anna likes this guy, this character played by Chad Michael Murray. Anna in the mom's body comes to a cafe and she sees, you know, Chad Michael Murray's character. Anna, as a teenager, was always had a crush on him. But he never really had an interest for her. But now all of a sudden he meets her inside her mom's body, thinking it's the mom. And let's take a look at what happens.
Anna heads to a cafe after the interview, where she runs into Jake and shares a cup of coffee with him. Not smart, Anna. Let's remember you're trapped in your mother's body. They once again get to sharing their music tastes and discuss their mutual love for Hit Me Baby One More Time. Let's be real, who could ever hate such an iconic hit? Anna has to hurry to her rehearsal dinner, much to Jake's disappointment, who is now head over heels for Anna, but in Tess's body. Ugh.
And I guess we're in a pickle.
Creepy and disgusting, no thanks.
Oh, I love this song. Am I so lame that I would love Baby One More Time? Not with you, I lose my mind. Give me a sign. Hit me, baby, one more time. Really,
Please. Just please. Let me at least give you a ride.
Okay.
My loneliness is killing me, and I must confess, I still believe.
Awkward.
You notice that everyone was like, what is happening here?
Because
A bit
it
too close for
shows
comfort.
how
It doesn't
inappropriate
appear
it
to be
is.
normal, yeah.
Yeah.
But you're also
Yeah.
putting this idea, I think you break down society when you show them this relationship over and over and over. At first it's weird, and then you're putting that in the public's mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. And the thing is that Hollywood is not just sticking with just one movie. Like, it's putting this idea out over and over and over again, like you said, so eventually you just accept it.
Right.
And we know there's a whole pedophilia agenda going on out there.
Right.
We know,
Right.
unfortunately, there's a lot of pedophilia going on in the upper classes of
Right.
Hollywood.
I mean, the age range of something is illegal. I mean, there's a reason why that's illegal.
Mhm.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a bit weird.
Wow. Okay.
So I probably have a very similar reaction if I saw them at a cafe. In fact, I'd call the police at that point. But you know what's even weirder? So here he is, a couple of years later, and he's talking about how apparently Lindsay Lohan had never kissed any guy before this movie, and so she had to kiss him. And so look at what happened on the set. This is really strange to me.
Dude, I just ran out with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Nope, our eyes and ears aren't deceiving us. That was Chad Michael Murray confessing he once played tonsil hockey with Jamie Lee Curtis. The Riverdale star dropped the bombshell on Busy Tonight Thursday, revealing that the big smooch went down in 2003 when Jamie and Chad were filming the Disney flick Freaky Friday with Lindsay Lohan. Chad says Lindsay Lohan had never been kissed and was nervous about locking lips for the cameras. That's when Jamie stepped in to, save the day?
I was Lindsay Lohan's first kiss. And Jamie Lee Curtis was there, and she was trying to kind of settle the situation because Lindsay's nerves were a little bit, all over the place, as you would assume, right? Your first kiss, you're like 16 years old.
At the time, Lindsay was 16, Chad was 21, and Jamie was, drumroll please, 44.
Jamie's like, all right, get in my trailer, come on. So we go and we sit in Jamie's trailer, and she's talking to Lindsay, trying to get her to, it's very, just kiss him, come on, just give him a pop kiss, it's no big deal, let's break the ice now. She goes, oh, come on, and she just grabs me by the back of the head and makes out with me in the mouth. And
Jamie Curtis?
yeah, and I'm going. And at this point, I went, dude, I just ran out with Jamie Lee Curtis. This is great. And then that was it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is really wild. I love that story. Do we love this story? Do we? It seems all kinds of weird.
It's just yesterday was freaky, and I mean, I see your mom, and I like her. I mean, I like her, but I like her as your mom.
What?
Yeah.
I mean,
Admitting to your girlfriend that you like her mom is kind of
yeah.
messed up.
Things just get weirder, man. Like, this happened on the set. Like, just the fact that this grown woman is, I know he was of age. They said 21 at somewhere else. I read 22. He was of age, sure, but that's like, what? You're like his old person, sorry, but, and then you just go and like, come here, and you just like, if that was a male doing it to a female, you would instantly get like arrested or something, And then like in front of, let's say, a minor. The minor's in the trailer with you guys. Like, what on earth?
It's probably part of her contract, though. I mean, I'm sure she wasn't going in that completely blind. It was like, what? I had to kiss somebody? Like,
No, she knew.
probably knew and was building up to that. Because she's a minor, I would hope that it would be in a contract. Like, it would have to be.
I mean, yes, to kiss on set, but to get pulled into a trailer and like you're
With
just
nobody
having
else watching.
nobody else watching, and it's just like this older lady kissing your co-star in front of you, like making out, like French kissing in front of you is really strange.
It is very strange.
Yeah, and like this is how you kiss someone. Okay.
Yeah, I think technically before they're 18 years old, I think you have to have your parent on set, and the parent technically should be within eyes range of that child of all times. I think that's what's supposed to happen.
Does it always happen?
Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think this is kind of showing you the unfortunate culture of Hollywood. But then now you have Freakier Friday, which is the remake, like I said. There's
remake, or is it a sequel?
Sequel. You're
Yeah.
right. It's a sequel. So in this case, Lindsay Lohan, obviously she's an adult now, so she's all grown up, and her character is grown up. She has a teenage daughter herself, and she is going to body swap with her teenage daughter.
How old is she?
The teenage daughter?
No,
Lindsay
Lindsay.
Lohan.
Because I'm wondering if
40
she's
something.
like 44.
Yeah, she's actually 40
gotta be
something.
Same age as Jamie Lee Curtis was.
Yeah, probably. Close to
It is
it.
actually close to that.
Yeah.
I think she might be
super curious.
And now
41.
she does that with her daughter
Yes.
No, but I think
they
the-
body
in
swap.
the show. Yeah.
But Jamie Lee Curtis is still
38.
in the movie.
Yes,
right?
she's
Oh,
now
okay.
the grandma.
Oh.
And
Okay.
so Lindsay Lohan's character is getting married to a new guy,
Okay,
right?
If they have the grandma swatch places, I don't want to be in this conversation anymore.
So Lindsay Lohan's character is getting married to a new guy, and the new guy has a daughter that you see on the right, and she has some British accent or something like that, which everybody finds annoying. And the grandma, Jamie Lee Curtis on the left here, she's body swapping with her future, step granddaughter, I guess you would call it. So.
Okay.
So that's how the body swaps are happening. So basically the teenagers become the adults and the adults become the teenagers.
Okay.
Wait, so the grandma really is technically the teenager?
Yes.
Oh no, this just got really weird.
So yeah, it's weird
Wow.
because in the first movie, she was body swapping and she was going after Michael Murray's character, kind of not.
But as a mother to a teenager, now we're talking about
Grandmother.
Grandmother.
Cougar.
Yes.
To-
And it's
Okay,
going to
I'm done.
happen. It's going to happen again. Watch this clip.
Nice car.
It's totally mine.
She thinks you're cute.
I do not.
Yes, she does.
I do.
She so does.
Dr. Coleman?
Oh my God, go.
That's my therapist.
Yeah.
it's freaky.
It is really freaky. It's freakier.
Yeah. She should not be wearing clothing like that too. As a grandma.
Well, but think about it. They did a body swap, so now it's a teenager inside the body. It's the stepdaughter inside her body, and the
Still shouldn't wear
stepdaughter
that
probably
clothing.
dressed her up
I
like
didn't notice
that,
it.
you know. It's and the teenagers are like, "Cool, let's go take the car for a ride," and then she sees the boy she liked, but then it's like again, it's planting a seed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's a grandma flirting with a teenage boy.
Right.
That's weird.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you see again the same reaction. The first movie, it was like everybody in the cafe was like, "What?"
Yeah.
And in this movie, it's like the dad's like, "What are you doing? You're my therapist."
Mhm.
Now, it's interesting. I was thinking about other movies that have kind of done a similar thing, body swapping, and maybe like where people don't know who you really are and they have this inappropriate relationships.
Remember Face Off?
Face Off. Yeah, that was
Nick Cage
John
and
Travolta.
John Travolta.
Yeah.
They did that.
They did that
Yeah.
too.
They swapped. Mhm.
But it was
But that was like a
totally
swap the
kind of
face
different
surgical kind of thing, I think. Right?
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very different than this.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever seen 17 again? You have, right?
I've seen
Oh,
17.
yeah.
It's Matthew Perry, Zac Efron, and Leslie Mann. It's kind of the big cast in here. So I remember when I was a teenager, I watched this movie with my mom. Went to the movie theater. I was like, I want to watch Zac Efron because this is like one of his first movies he did after High School Musical. So in this movie, Matthew Perry's character, he's a dad. His wife is Leslie Mann. They are going through a divorce. They're not doing too well. And it's kind of odd, but he drives across a bridge, sees his old man, which now I realize was actually called his spirit guide, which is super new agey.
Okay.
He almost looked like an angel, like an older man. He jumps off the bridge. Matthew Perry's like, what is happening? And he falls off the bridge. And all of a sudden, he is 17 again. So he is in a 17-year-old body, but in today's day and age, right? He doesn't go back in time. And so he looks exactly like he was 17.
When his wife first
Exactly.
fell in love
So
with
she
him.
recognizes him and she's like, you look so much like my husband when he was younger, you know? And so he has a pseudonym. His best friend, who is also a grown man, of course, they're faking that that's his dad so he can get into high school, kind of check on his kids, but also relive his life. And he tries to intervene in his marriage, even though now he's in his younger body, right? So that's kind of what's happening. So in this clip here he is with his wife, but he is 17. So his wife doesn't know who he actually is. She thinks this is her son's friend. She has a son. And her son made friends with him.
Yeah.
But bottom line is she doesn't know this is actually her husband. And he is 17.
Try me.
Why did you pick that song?
Oh, I don't know. It just kind of spoke to me.
That's funny. That's the song that my husband and I danced to at our wedding.
A man of good taste.
Do you want me to show you some dance moves?
I would love to see some.
That I learned at my wedding.
Great.
Yeah. Okay, you stand here like that. Okay, like that.
Great.
I'll stand here. No, you stand right there.
Right there.
Okay, ready? So you go right foot back, and then left foot back, and then quick right, left, right, and then right. Oh, that was good. Left, right, left, right. That's good. Wow, that was really good. You're picking that up pretty quickly.
You mentioned your husband. Do you think you guys are ever gonna get back together?
No.
Why are you so sure? Maybe there's something he could do to fix things.
I love my husband and care about him, but sometimes that just is not enough.
Oh, he blew it. Jump.
You don't understand. You've turned your head.
Mom?
Yeah. Hey, Alex. I'm your mom. I'm Alex's mom, Mark.
Yeah. Your date is here.
Huh? Okay.
She's nervous. It's creepy, right?
A little bit.
She's so old. It's like,
You dance with all your friends' moms?
pretty much.
Same setup, right?
Yeah.
Like clearly she doesn't know that that's her husband, but we know as the viewers. So again, there's like it's like sugar coated. It's not like as
It's
in your
blurring the line.
face. Yeah, but she's like falling in love with a 17-year-old with a minor. Ad break.
All right, I can do this. All right. There are conventional ways of sharing the gospel, but some may need a different way of doing things. Never mind. A way that gets the message out with confidence.
Wow, cool shirt. What's it mean?
Oh, thank you. You know, we're all made with a unique fingerprint, but we're all God's artwork.
Wow, where'd you get it?
Lightwear. Wear your witness.
So you would have seen Big.
Yes.
Did you ever see Big?
No.
Did you?
No.
Okay. Tom Hanks movie from the 80s.
Yeah, it was his
early
breakout
90s.
role. I think he had
it
only
was-
been in the TV show before
Yeah.
that.
So basic premise: he is, he's a kid. He wants to be big. He goes to this machine, I guess, at a
Fortune
carnival.
teller machine.
Yeah, fortune teller machine at a carnival. He makes a wish that he would be big, and it comes true. It's like a dark and stormy night, it's like something mysterious and supernatural happens, and essentially he wakes up big. And so then he's grown up as an adult, his mom doesn't recognize him, he has to get out of the house, he has to go get a job, all this kind of stuff. And he just acts like a big kid because he's still mentally the age that he was when he made the wish. And he eventually winds up in a relationship. And
But with an adult?
With an adult.
Oh, okay.
And I remember seeing this as a kid. I don't know how old I was, but when you're younger, I remember seeing that, and it's implied, not shown. I think it's PG or something. It's implied that they have a night together.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember thinking, wait, he's not old enough to do that. He's a kid. Did you have that thought when you saw that? And it's just like, there's something wrong with that.
Right.
But it's this, real, for the time and compared to a lot of today's stuff, it would be considered relatively tame, right? As far as a movie, it's like PG.
Right.
There's not like a bunch of language in it. There's not a bunch of violence in it. It's like, clean by today's standards. I say that, like loosely, but there are these themes like the fortune teller and the, basically sleeping with his lady as a kid.
But the reason that we have that statutory law
Yeah.
is because of the mind. So it's kind of like blurring that line with something that is clearly illegal, even if the body's ready. Does that make sense? It's
Like a woman's body is ready for reproduction at like 13, 12. It doesn't mean mentally she's ready for that.
Right. And they're almost putting this rubber stamp of approval on the body instead of the mind.
We're talking about blurry lines. I'm thinking here, like, I'm not sure how blurry this line is, but yeah, Poor Things is not as blurry, I guess. It's more clear, I guess, right?
Or
the
open.
concept, more open. Yeah, they're not hiding as much.
We actually did a live on about Poor Things a while ago, and this actually won an Oscar. Do you remember a little bit about this movie? Like, it was pretty crazy.
No, my hard drive's getting full. I've deleted useless things.
Probably a good thing. Yeah.
Well,
So
from what I understand, this movie, the line is not blurry on a lot of things. Not only that, the mind of a child and all that, but also like the types of relationships she actually gets in. Like they actually have full on sex scenes with
Kids.
this is a kid, but it's on a grown body.
Adult body, but child mind.
But I didn't see the movie, but I think the sex scenes are actually not even uncensored. They're just
surprised me.
full on pornography.
Wow.
Crazy.
So with
a child's brain. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a clip here from the while back when we did this live, and that kind of explains the storyline and why there's a problem with this. So this movie particularly, the story is that there's this girl. Her name is Bella, which just means beautiful, and her last name is Bella Baxter, right? And so Bella is she wants to commit suicide. Okay, so she tries to kill herself, but she's pregnant. She has a fetus in her womb, and this doctor gets her body and he takes out the fetus and puts it inside her brain. So now there's an adult body with a child brain, which is what we're also seeing on the movie poster.
Of course, once Bella makes it out into the world, she does so just having discovered the joys of physical pleasure. This was something she discovered with the help of an apple.
She is sleeping with grown men, right? And there's even a clip where this guy who has kidnapped her, has fallen in love with her, takes her, and she's on a boat, and he's like, hey, you want to take this breeze, and because they're on a ship, you want to take it inside the room? Like, she is sleeping with him when she has a baby's brain in her mind. She is technically still a child, right? And then there is this other character that she was once married to. I guess she's just forgot or something like that. His name is Alfie. And Alfie, turns out, is the dad of the fetus that was inside her belly, which now has been put in her brain. And so they are now married, That's
Yeah.
incest.
Right. So that's now even inching into even further things that I think are very disturbing. And we need to talk about these things.
That's
Wow.
bizarre.
It's more disturbing
so
than I
bizarre.
thought.
Yeah, it's so bizarre. And speaking of incest in 17 again, you know, Zac Efron's character is 17 again, goes to the school, and so he's trying to help his daughter get away from this football player and that relationship. And so his daughter now falls in love with Zac Efron's character being her dad, but is, you know, him 17 again. And she actually tries to have sex with the dad in a 17-year-old body. Now he refuses. He's like, this is inappropriate, blah, blah, blah. But still,
Yeah.
what are you putting out there?
Right.
So, same thing in Poor Things. And then, do you guys remember The Curious Case of Benjamin Button?
Never saw it, but I know
You've
it
never
is.
seen it?
Never saw it.
You've never seen it?
That was when he actually got younger, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, he was like, instead of getting old, it's like he started out old and then he went the other way.
So, he was born inside with a baby's body, but the body was old and wrinkled like a grandpa, like it was about to die. But in his mind, he is young. Like his mind, he is a baby. And as he grows up, his mind gets older, but the body gets younger. So it's like reversed aging, basically. So, but of course, there's a love story involved. And so we'll take a look at this clip here where he meets this girl and he is a grandpa in his body, but in his mind, he's a child, and they go on a date together. So grandpa goes on a date with a child.
On the same day, Benjamin meets Daisy, an attractive girl with blue eyes. They become friends and really enjoy each other's company. Although they are almost the same age, to everyone else they appeared as a teenage girl and a balding old man in glasses. The people around, not knowing that Benjamin is actually a child, began criticizing his friendship with Daisy.
And you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
However, Daisy and Benjamin understand each other perfectly. They feel mutual attraction and share secrets. Caroline realizes and finds it surprising that her dying mother is the little Daisy from Benjamin's diary. One day, Queenie allows Benjamin, who is already 15 years old at that time, to go for a walk to the port. There he accidentally ends up on a ship hired as a sailor. Captain Mike, who loves to drink, enjoys talking to the old man. Benjamin's attraction to Daisy grows stronger. One early morning, he takes Daisy to the boat and asks his new friend Captain Mike to take them for a ride along the river. Despite the risk of losing his license, Captain Mike agrees, and his guests aboard enjoy a romantic morning on the river. Noticing the changes happening to his body, Benjamin starts to suspect that he is getting younger. One day, he decides to start his own journey in life, and set off on a long voyage. As they said goodbye, Daisy asks him to send postcards from every place he would visit. Benjamin and Daisy have now parted ways. Daisy enters ballet school and begins her career as a dancer. Meanwhile, Benjamin travels the world on a boat with his friend Captain Mike, and as promised, he sends Daisy postcards from different parts of the world. Soon after Benjamin's return, Daisy also arrives at the nursing home. Their reunion was joyful and friendly, but Benjamin no longer looks at Daisy as just a childhood friend. He sees her as a beautiful woman. Daisy marries a good man and lives a happy life with him. One day, Benjamin returns to see his family. He looks like he is 20 years old, and both he and Daisy realize that they have made the right decision by parting ways. Yet, they still feel drawn to each other.
I'll never stop loving you.
They make love in a hotel room and then part ways again for many years. They meet each other again when Daisy is already an elderly woman, and Benjamin looks like a teenager. He lives in the nursing home because he is becoming senile and forgetting everything. This time, Daisy can no longer leave him alone. Her daughter has moved out, and her husband has passed away. She dedicates all her time to the boy who is actually an old man. Benjamin continues to grow younger and forgets almost everything. Daisy cares for him like a child, which is how others see him.
Isn't that weird?
It's just getting odd.
It is.
So, yeah, like, again, in the beginning, she's having a relationship. She's a child, and then she's having a relationship with a grown man, with a grandpa. Well, I know in their minds they're like similar age, but if I were an actor and I had to like look through the script and play this role, I'm like, so you're telling me that I'm going to dress up like an old man and I'm going to be on a romantic date with my girlfriend who is a child.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Yeah. Very weird.
And then toward the end, again, like they're still in love, but then she like nurses him and stuff and he's a child.
Yeah.
But she still sees him as her romantic partner that she's always been in love with.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah, it's weird because it's a fantasy. Obviously, I don't think this is actually based on any sort of reality. I don't think there's anybody
No.
that's had this experience in
No.
life. So it's just putting the idea or imagery out there that, you know, it doesn't really matter. It's all about what's in the mind, right?
Age isn't a barrier to love, and you know, all those things.
Yep. Well, the Bible has some things to say about this. Isaiah 5:20 says, "Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter." So, you know, we have to be careful with these kind of things. When we watch these kind of movies, we're participating in what this verse speaks against, so we have to be careful with that. So let's go back to Freakier Friday. Let's bring it all back around. Another point that I thought was interesting about Freakier Friday is that, you know, in the first movie, they had the Chinese restaurant with the fortune cookies, and that's how the body swap happened. Well, they took it up a notch. Lindsay Lohan's character is getting married, so she has her bachelorette party, and they have a fortune teller there, and she's the one who's causing the body swap.
My bachelorette party will be good bonding for everyone. You two are called to be family. Yeah, right.
Don't remind me.
You've walked in each other's path. You learned a lesson that may serve you again. Okay, that's enough.
Thank you very
much. One more thing. Right over there is a QR code that you can tip me with.
Yeah, all seeing eye
Do you guys see
in a
that?
triangle and
Crystals everywhere.
They're,
I mean, you should expect that at a fortune teller's place. So,
right.
But like they put that in the movie, you know, they were like, no, we're not going to do fortune cookies now. We're going to take it up a notch. We're just going to go full on, you know, magic and new age and everything, like blatant, you know.
Yeah. Which is something that they've been actually putting more and more prevalent kind of ideas into that. The mother of, do you remember the elemental? Elemental or whatever like that. The mom's job was a fortune teller, and you know, by just kind of throwing these things in kids' programs, it's like makes you not think it's such a horrible thing.
Normalize it.
And again, teenagers watch this kind of stuff, right? Like, I mean, might as well, if you're already trying to get teenagers used to pedophilia, just throw some magic in there too, and just make them go sink their ship.
I mean, magic's been put everywhere from, you know, it's like magic is bigger than pedophilia in movies at this point. So
there's a lot of things in our world that we think are normal, and they're not. You know,
They're common, but
normalized because of sin, but they're not normal.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. The Bible speaks very clearly against these kind of things in Deuteronomy. We use this verse over and over again. There shall not be found among you anyone who makes his son or his daughter pass through the fire, or one who practices witchcraft, or a soothsayer, or one who interprets omens, or a sorcerer, or one who conjures spells, or a medium, or a spiritist, or one who calls up the dead. For all who do these things are an abomination to the Lord. Keith, how do you understand abomination from the Bible?
It's a very strong word. You know, it's one, when God uses the word abomination, he's really saying, I hate this thing.
That's right. And why, you've talked about this many times, but why is this particular thing like witchcraft and sorcery, why is that such an abomination to God?
Yeah, it's an impersonation, I think, of God's servants. So his prophets, the Bible says the Lord God does nothing unless he reveals his secrets to his servants, the prophets. That's in Amos chapter 3, I think. And if that's God's chosen method to communicate from these times, of course, we have the Bible now to help with us, but if that was his method to communicate to his people, and you introduce another voice, how do they know the difference? So I think the Bible says, you know, if they speak not according to this word, there's no light in them. That passage from Isaiah 8:20, when you look at the verses that precede it, 19 is talking about witchcraft and sorcery. So, you know, it says, don't go to the wizards that peep and mutter, should not a people seek unto its God. So it's in that context that God is saying, like, look, don't go seek into these other things. They don't speak according to my word. There's no light in that. So this is a counterfeit. That's why God takes it so strongly, because how would we know the difference? And that's why I think we have the written word. It's a check and balance, right?
Yep.
So if it doesn't line up with that, then you know it's not right. Right?
Yeah, and again, if Kevin Smith, who's a big director in Hollywood, says most directors, pretty much all directors, put their own version of their morality and values in movies, then somebody on set is saying, you know what, I want to put my ideas of magic and sorcery and witchcraft and soothsaying in this movie. Mm-hmm. It's written into the script on purpose. And by the way, guess who owns this movie franchise? These two, Freakier Friday. Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Disney.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Jamie Lee Curtis was the one who approached Disney and said, hey, we should do a sequel. But Disney is the one who puts out the movie.
Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me.
Disney likes witchcraft. I mean, it's always been since The Sorcerer's Apprentice, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah. I mean, like even since, Sorcerer's Apprentice, which is Mickey Mouse. Right. Yeah.
The original.
So, yeah. Matthew 24:12-13 says that because lawlessness will abound, the love of many will grow cold, but he who endures to the end will be saved. We are living so close to the second coming of Jesus. And I really want to encourage people, check out our playlist on Bible prophecy on our channel, because we are absolutely at the end of time. And if Jesus is coming soon, then we need to be ready for him to come. And we need to have a relationship with Jesus and step away from lawlessness and seek a relationship with him so that we may be saved, because it's in relationship with Jesus that we'll be saved. Matthew 7 talks about that there's many people who call themselves Christians who do all these things, but when you don't have the relationship with him, like a genuine relationship, we're like, Lord, whatever you will tell me, I will do because I trust in you and because you're my best friend, you're my savior. He wants to have a genuine relationship with you because he wants to change our lives and hearts for the better. And that relationship is what he can then use to say, I know your heart is in the right place. I know you want me. Let's do this together. And John 17:15-17 says, I do not pray that you should take them out of the world, but that you should keep them from the evil one. They are not of the world, just as I am not of the world. Sanctify them by your truth. Your word is truth. Scotty, what does this verse mean to you when you read this?
I think that it's giving you a window into where to find truth. And, if there was no one place that the truth can be found, well, anybody's truth. I mean, you hear that today. That's your truth. That's my truth. That's your truth. And really, what does that even mean? You know what I mean? Your truth, your version. You can make that up. So I think the Word of God is saying, like, here's the thing that you know, right and wrong, left or right, and that's going to be found in God's Word. Why? Because God's the one that inspired that thing to be said, not the man.
If you like this video,
subscribe,
and hit the notification bell so you know when we launch new videos.
And drop a comment below, and we'll try to get back to you if we can. What?
Say that again.
No.
No, I don't know what to say.